Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Thompson Okanagan Tourism Association's COVID-19 Tourism Resiliency and Recovery Response webinar. We wanted to take this time to share with you a new program, a couple of new programs actually, that we are launching within the organization and across the region and with our partners across the province of British Columbia. We're certainly living in surreal times. And there's a curse that states that may you live in interesting times. And certainly we are living in interesting times. It's very unfortunate. And on behalf of all of us at TOTA, both our board and our staff, our heart goes out to each and every business and organization and your respective employees at this time. It's very hard to not be emotional in delivering this message and sharing with you this program, because so many of you are not only important businesses and organizations to all of us in our association, but are in many cases dear friends and colleagues. We couldn't think of an more important role for our organization to play than to provide direct support to you at this critical time. I'm going to walk through for the next 15 to 20 minutes some of the programs that we're currently offering and will be offering to give you insight into these programs and how you can get involved as an organization or a business or an employee of tourism in the Thompson Okanagan region. One of the things I wanted to share with you, and first of all, I should say my name is Glenn Manzik, and I'm President and CEO of the Thompson Okanagan Tourism Association and represent an organization of 15 employees who are working very hard on your behalf on developing a series of programs and to help us through this difficult time that we find ourselves in. Before I get into those programs, I just wanted to reassure that there are a number of initiatives that still are at the cornerstone of our core programming. Research, utilizing the latest techniques and resources to understand our consumers and our consumer base, so that when we are into the recovery mode on that road, that we will have a deeper understanding and be able to target market those consumers that we want to try to attract back here again when it is safe to do so. There are a number of destination development activities and our destination stewardship programs, and obviously travel trade and travel media are still cornerstones of our programs, and our content and digital communications, which I will talk about in a few minutes. A little bit more about on how to do best to do that at this time. And then you see some of the other programs that we currently offer that we will still maintain throughout this journey that we're in. But I wanted to highlight some of the immediate actions at TOTA that took place over now 7 weeks ago, and that I know all of you are going through. We launched our emergency planning program and protocols formally approved by our board of directors at TOTA, who have been very active in providing direct leadership to many of the initiatives that I'm about to talk about. We've had direct industry and government communications, both through our channels that you see here, from our news center to a new email address that enables you as an industry to directly communicate with our entire team at recovery@totabc.com, to regular industry communiques, through our Manic Mondays and industry releases, and through our social channels. We've also been very active in our discussions with government, particularly our work daily with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, who have been tremendous in providing direct access to us and to provide direct support for you in this difficult time. Our partners across BC through our 5 regional destination management organizations, obviously TOTA being one of them, but our partners in the north through Northern BC Tourism, through Cariboo Chilcotin Coast, Kootenay Rockies, and Vancouver Island Tourism, through the BCTRS, which stands for the British Columbia Regional Tourism Secretariat, through regular emergency pre-auc calls with government to not only look at COVID-19, but obviously as some of our areas are experiencing flooding, and hopefully, unfortunately, that we don't see any forest fire activities. Obviously, regional stakeholder meetings that we can tell, and I'll touch a little bit about that in a few seconds. We have weekly calls with the federal minister, as well as the provincial minister, Lisa Bear, who's been, again, working tirelessly to listen and hear from industry and see if we can apply different programs to support all of you. Our community DMO partners throughout the region, we discuss weekly, as well as with Destination BC and through the Emergency Tourism Response Program. We've also been regularly reaching out to all of you, and many of you have heard from us through phone surveys to understand exactly in real time what is happening out there, and with our partners at the Ministry of Tourism through our BC Hospitality Association and through the BC DMOA, which stands for Destination Marketing Associations, and our community partners. We've been regularly communicating in that regard. And we've been surveying and understanding, as I mentioned, the issues and trying to get a hold of those issues and rolling those into government. We've personally reached out to and talked with over 750 of you. We've been sharing those, as I mentioned, daily to government, as well as through a weekly roll-up report that you see right here on the right-hand side of the screen that basically outlines those key trends and identifies those gaps that are obviously happening with some of these programs that are being rolled out. And we want to be able to address those gaps and fill those gaps. And this tool and this process has enabled us to help facilitate some of that communication effort. What we've seen from some of this research is that 44% of all businesses in the region are temporarily closed. 48% are operating with reduced hours and services. 78% of all pre-COVID-19 reservations on the books have been canceled. And what we're seeing obviously is cancellations reported deep into 2021 now. So obviously deeply concerning. And again, our heart goes out to all of you at this time. We also heard from those surveys is that we needed to advocate, and we've done that. We've really been focused, and we continue to do that on talking about relief grants, reducing or eliminating government fees, tax payments, and providing aid to reduce fixed costs such as utilities, communications, technology, financing, and rent. And we'll continue to do so. And I will say the government, through the ministry and the minister, have been very open to listening and doing what they can to feed back to all of us and all of you. Also, we've heard from industry that we need to clarify appropriate consumer communications on how best to communicate with consumers at this time, because we don't want people to travel for health and safety concerns, but we want to be able to still promote our business and still know that we, when it is at the right time, that we can do so. And we also heard that, with all the announcements that are coming out daily, that the need to understand all these programs and provide some level of pathfinding services and expert advice to tap into those resources effectively needed to occur. So first, from clarifying the appropriate consumer communications, with our partners across all the regions, developed a social media toolkit, a toolkit that provides you as businesses and communities understanding of how to best communicate at this time and provide some guidelines so that you can be actively participating in marketing digital communications at this time. Within the toolkit, it outlines communication guidelines following the COVID-19 guidelines and public policy. It details the do's and don'ts while engaging with customers and identifies some content pillars: culinary, local love programs, artisans, nature-based, and family at home. And there's examples provided within the toolkit. There's a content calendar and some, as I mentioned, examples and suggestions. We've already launched this program. It is available to all of you that have called in and have linked in through this webinar. And certainly if you're interested in this toolkit, it is available to interested stakeholders, and you can please email communications@totabc.com. So that's communications@totabc.com if you want a copy of this toolkit. And we're continuing to evolve this communique and this toolkit, and it is in direct complementary efforts with the work that's going on at Destination British Columbia and the work that's going on with, obviously, as I mentioned, all the regions in British Columbia. So the main reason I wanted to talk to you today and introduce you is this new program called the British Columbia Tourism Resiliency Network. This is a program that has been worked on for the last few weeks and in very strong haste, but is a strong commitment that regions such as ours are making and changing within our organization to best serve you as members and as industry across this region at this time. So this program is to provide support in navigating emergency response funding and resources, ultimately to sustain the ongoing viability during this COVID outbreak. We will provide our leadership, expertise, resources to connect businesses with information, advice, and solutions towards developing resiliency within our industry. This is a program, I'm proud to say, one of our partners at the BCTRS, or the British Columbia Regional Tourism Secretariat, through Vancouver Island Tourism Association, and they provided a lot of leadership around this initiative, and we're very proud of our relationship. But all the regions across BC have come together to provide this program, to provide this meaningful program, and I want to go into a bit of detail around it. So the core objectives of this program is to provide meaningful support to you. This is not a one-time deal. This is a long-time relationship that will be established between you and our team in order to provide you that one-on-one relationship, basically looking at our team as a member of your team in navigating the programs and resources and opportunities that are out there at this time. We want to be able to streamline communications between you as a business operator and the programs that are out there, but also if there are gaps in the programs, this is our ability to streamline that communications between you, the business, and the government that is identifying and developing those policies. And finally, obviously, advocacy. We'll be in a better position to advocate on your behalf if we know the information that we can advocate for. And that is the cornerstone of the program in itself. Our team has been redeployed in its entirety, and I'm so proud of this team that we have at TOTA that has been able to step in and change gears and focus and pivot on what is important, and what is important is all of you. We have established surveyors, schedulers, our program advisors, who I'll talk about in a few minutes, a communications team, a monitor who is monitoring the new programs daily and incorporating that into our strategic advice. And we've assembled a series of subject experts in finance, in human resources, legal services, business transition, mental health and wellness, and more to help to provide the best possible support necessary to you. In terms of the customer journey, so that you understand how we look at this process internally and externally. So we have an intake process. There's two ways that businesses such as yourself can come into the program, either through a 1-800 number or register on a website through an online form, or you'll be directly contacted from our dedicated phone bank of people who are phoning out to each of you to let you know about the program that's out there and determine whether you need support, and then schedule you with a program advisor. Once you're in the program advisor program, you'll be identified and paired with a program advisor in our organization who will basically, and we want you to see it as an extension of your personal team to help navigate the programs and resources available to you so that you can best try to weather the storm that is in front of us. Those program advisors will be your one-on-one contact within this organization, not just for the short term, but for the long term, to help provide immediate support, to provide a needs assessment, and with the support of experts, provide you with a support plan in the short term and ultimately in the long term. That support plan will be drawing on expert advice as well as our program advisors who will meet daily to determine best results. So our program advisors will focus on client care, be an empathetic listener for you, and take excellent notes and be accustomed and comfortable with a collaborative team approach. And as a program advisor, there's an ongoing cyclical process of ongoing training, obviously through discovery and meeting with you and talking with you through Zoom and through the phone. And we've also established a program in multilingual, in English and Mandarin, Punjabi, Hindi, and French, just to name a few. And we will do daily team reviews of common issues so that we can identify and report back to you on a much more timely fashion. We'll develop a support plan to you and then follow up with a survey. And again, this is an ongoing cyclical process of connection and communications. We've also, in our partnerships with BCTRS and a variety of organizations, Small Business BC, Destination BC, and the like, we'll be developing a series of webinars and information bulletins that will be provided to each of you through this website, tourismresiliency.ca. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. That will provide resource lists and links available so that you can find out information on your time schedule in the comfort of your home while you're looking at understanding some of these programs. And certainly if you want to have more information, please reach out to us and identify any potential webinars that you may be interested into the future. There will be a dedicated section to post unique webinars and, as I mentioned, tailored bulletins. We have had a number of partners to make this happen in order to deliver this to you. Obviously, first and foremost, the partnership with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture have been center and a cornerstone of that relationship. And as I mentioned, the BCTRS, but also British Columbia Destination Marketing Organization, association made up of all the community DMOs across this province, but the community partners that we have here across this region, you have to know, are representing you extraordinarily well as an industry. And we are working very closely with them in promoting and elevating the awareness of this program. Obviously, our partnership with Destination British Columbia, the BC Hospitality Association, Go2HR for all our HR expert advice, Indigenous Tourism BC, and one of the initial funders and piloters of this initiative and needs to be acknowledged is the Island Coastal Economic Trust, who have been instrumental in helping us fund some of the coreness of this initiative. And there are more to come in the coming days. So this program is available to all tourism businesses in the Thompson Okanagan region. You can now officially set up your appointments, and they can be booked with our program advisors starting today, either by visiting tourismresiliency.ca/TOTA or contacting us at recovery@totabc.com or calling us at 1-877-431-8489. Our team at TOTA is absolutely dedicated to working with our tourism stakeholders to obtain your support, to provide you support as you need it. And as I mentioned before, this is for the long term. This is not a short-term view, because we know that this impact that we have in front of us is not going away anytime soon. This is something that we know we have to get through together, and we want to provide that support for you. We are in this together with you, and we will work hard to do what it takes to help respond, recover, and build long-term resiliency. And I have to say that we know in the work that we do as an organization, this is the most important work that we may ever do in our lifetime, in our careers. And we will do whatever it takes to help where we can. And this is, as I mentioned, I speak on behalf of all the team members at TOTA who are so focused and are dedicated to this effort, that we're here for you. So for any questions or to book your appointment, please contact recovery@totabc.com. As I mentioned, look for all the latest news for the local efforts at totabc.org/coronavirus, and also to book your appointments tourismresiliency.ca/TOTA, or tap into the 1-800 number seen on the screen. Again, I'd like to thank you for coming out and being a part of this webinar. I didn't want to take up much time of your day, but I wanted to share this opportunity with you. Know that we are there with you. We are there to best whatever we can do to help support you at this zenith of low point in our existence in the industry. But we are seeing such signs of resiliency. We hope that all of you stay safe and stay healthy, and that we look forward again, as I mentioned, to support you. So any questions that you have, please email or call or book an appointment as soon as you can. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing all of you in person very soon. Thank you.